Y'all, I am late, child. Late. I just got off of my All American Live after show, which was like 2.5 hour live. Excuse me, on Erica Vane TV. And then I realized I did not go live on my personal channel. And if you don't know, I am supposed to be going live every day for 30 days. So I've already made a freaking misstep. I've already dropped the ball. And in the moment, I started to get a little sad about it, a little frustrated with myself about it, because I like to stay committed to the things that I say that I'm going to do for myself. And one of the ways that I show self love is showing up for myself before I require anybody else to show up for me. So I was really about to spiral into a place of like frustration. And then I was like, well, you can still go live now. It's technically the seventh day, but you still need to do day six. So maybe you do two lives on day seven to make up for it. And it's still 30 lives within 30 days. It's not specifically on that set day. And it doesn't have to be a pattern that you have. It's a recognize that you dropped the ball, that you made a misstep, that you didn't do what you said, but you can still recover. And I think that that's a very powerful shifting of the narrative internally that needs to happen, especially if you're a person who has been socialized or raised as you were growing up to like internalize shame or to use shame to propel yourself forward. I would definitely identify as that. And as I'm unlearning that and wanting more healthier, positive things to push me, it requires me to reconstruct that conversation within my brain. So, like, no, I'm not sad about it. Am I disappointed that in I didn't make time and I waited until the very end of the day and then I fell asleep because I was late for my other live over there? Yes, but I'm human and I make mistakes. And I still have the best intentions. I still want to honor my goals, and there's other ways for me to do so. So I thought it was so powerful for me to speak to that in this particular moment, because while I could opt to feel shame and to feel guilt and to feel frustrated and to beat myself up about it, also, what is that actually going to do for the greater good or for the greater goals? The goal of this particular challenge that I'm doing is to get me more active, more intentional, and keep me present with my personal channel, and work to start to build that alongside my main channel. So, what is me shutting down, feeling defeated, feeling frustrated, and beating myself up about making a misstep early on in the challenge going to do for that goal? Oh, nothing? So then we're not going to do it. We just going to decide to go live at 12:23 a.m. on day seven, and then we'll go live again later for day seven of the challenge, so that both seven and eight happen in the same day, but you still did 30 days alive. And then you're able to also have this conversation with some other people who might use shame and guilt and negative reinforcement to push themselves forward. And maybe with this conversation, you start to reconsider that particular choice. You know, that can be a very real thing. Um, Again, I just finished my All American Live After Show live. So a lot of the themes that happened in that particular episode, as well as some of the things that people brought up in chat, are still very prominent and present for my mind. And I kind of want to figure out how to touch upon a little bit more how we are socialized and what we know love to be. Because one thing that keeps coming up within the chat, as I discuss this or discuss the series and the romances that are on the series, is what people expect and how things should be versus how they are. And I feel so powerless in the expanding of people's mind and shifting out of going along with what should be just because society says so versus what is. Specifically in romantic relationships, or not more romantic relationships, in relationships, periods, we expect a lot from people. You should tell me everything about you. You should do this. You should do that. But we are very, very rarely conditioned, or there's a very rare conversation that doesn't happen around how are you as a person creating the perfect conditions for this shoulda, coulda, woulda to actually happen. So somebody should tell you everything that's going on with them in their lives because you love them and they love you, and y'all have decided to be girlfriend and boyfriend, and y'all have decided to be best friends. But are you, as that particular person on the other side of that friendship, that relationship, whatever, are you creating a space for that to actually happen? Or is it only on this person to share regardless of if they feel safe, regardless of if they feel seen, regardless of if they feel like it would be a positive thing to do so, regardless of if they feel that they will actually get anything out of doing so? And I want to have that conversation more to help people like come along on that journey and like unlearn some of the toxic things that are tied to these expectations that we have for people, while also not laying the groundwork for certain things to actually work and actually happen. But I gotta process and figure out how to actually do that. I have always loved film and television, but one of the best things has been me figuring out why and being able to unpack human behavior, being able to ask intentional questions, being able to dive into the whys behind things is the most rewarding, satisfying thing. And it's literally my why in reference to storytelling within this medium. And I love that for me. I was watching earlier today. I was watching a TikTok that Justin Simeon did, who's the creator of Dead White People. He was talking about it's very trying times right now. Like the house is burning, the plantation is burning as it presents with the industry in Hollywood. And it is now more important than ever for any creative who is in the space, any filmmaker who's in the space, to know why you are doing what you're doing and know what you're trying to say. Because right now, nobody knows nothing. The industry is kind of imploding. There's a lot of restructuring happening, and it looks very bleak. And it's going to be the creatives, the filmmakers, the storytellers who know who they are and can stand in that and know what they came to say that are really going to usher us out of this very bleak era. And it was so affirming to me to hear that, because the more I go on and the more time that passes, the more I settle into confidence within my journey within the entertainment industry, the more I really understand what I'm trying to say, who I'm trying to say it to, and why I need to say it. And to hear him say that today, I'm like, okay, I'm on the right path then. Because so often, if you know specifically what you're here to do, what you're here to say, how you want to say it, and it's different than what the society is saying is cool right now, or what the mandate is at this network or at this network, it makes you feel like you're not wanted, or your ideas aren't valid, or it's just a you thing. And Justin's TikTok really affirmed to me, like, no, that's some pioneer ass shit, and they're not all going to get it because they're not supposed to. There are leaders and their followers. There's a shepherd and there are sheep. And the more distinct, specific, grounded you can be in why you're here, what you want to say, and how you want to say it, the more you define yourself as a shepherd, and the more you differentiate yourself from the sheep. And the sheep will get it at some point, and they'll start to fall in line and follow the leader. But it takes a little bit. So I guess day 6 is turning into random musings and lessons and all of that jazz. I'm sad that I'm doing this in the middle of the night, so most people are not actually up. But if you catch this on replay, please drop a comment, because I will definitely make a point to read all the comments of this particular live, and keep the conversation going. I'm going to probably cap this at 10 minutes so that, one, we can check out the box of like, okay, we did day 6. Day 7 will be a little bit longer, even though they're both happening within the same day. I appreciate y'all's grace. I'm sorry for anybody who was looking for me to go live and I didn't actually go live. I definitely want you guys to be able to count on me and to feel like I'm a reliable content creator. So I'm issuing that apology for those who have decided to go along this journey with me and I missed the mark and basically created a dissonance and a disruption in the process. Yes, those are the things that are on my mind. Oh, in addition to the service for me reading people's scripts, I'm about to do like a little mini free session where I'm going to read one scene. Check the link in the description box of this video so that you can submit your one scene, which has to be 5 pages or less. If you want me to read your whole script, then you got to go through the whole service, like, and that's available on my website. But this is like just for one scene, which I'm going to do on a live in the very future. So if you have something that you want me to check out, one scene, go to the link in the description box so that you can submit that. I love you guys. I thank you for being on this journey with me again. I'm sorry that not only am I late with this, but I missed day 6 in the time period in which I should have recorded it. But we fall down and we get back up. And all that matters is the perseverance and the push and the dedication. See you in a few for day 7.